Hey everybody, thanks for stopping by Gregsbeerreviews today. Let's go see what's in the fridge today. Hey guys, well, thanks for stopping by Gregsbeerreviews today. We got us a big 16-ounce can. This comes from Evil Twin Brewing. Yeah, my buddy Jeppy. This is their Even More Coco Jesus, or Jesus, however you want to say it. Sometimes when you say Jesus, you're not talking about Jesus, and it offends some people. And we are the land of the offended. Everything that pisses somebody off somewhere along the line. This is an American Double Imperial Stout coming in at 12%. And from what I've read and seen here, they have done this before. I want to say this is the 2017 version, but they don't date their shit, so it's hard to tell. This was sent to me by my brother Rico, and he writes, Evil Twin, Evil More Coco Jesus, 12% Imperial Stout with maple syrup and coconut added. 75 IBUs according to Untapped. And this is also their variant of Even More Jesus Stout. He said he bought it last month for $12.99 for a 4-pack. So, but without a date, we're guessing. We have no idea, and I'm pretty sure it doesn't. Oh, I take that back. Let me look. It says here batch number 001. So whatever the frick that's supposed to mean. And then it has a timestamp underneath that. Well, they could just as easily print a month, day, and a year on there instead of printing batch number 001 and 18.35. If they want the batch number there, and they could put the date underneath of it, or the batch number is just for their benefit, not ours. So, I have no idea whether this is 2015, 2016, or 2017. I'm sure it was the freshest thing Rico could pick up when he bought it. So, there's another problem I have with Jeppy and Evil Twin. They don't date their stuff. Batch number is irrelevant to me. Why do I have to go to their website or jump through hoops to find out how old the beer is? That's one of the problems I have with Jeppy. Commercial description says Imperial Stout with coconut and maple syrup added. Ta-da! Same thing Rico just told me. As far as Untapped, 12%, they say it's 75 IBUs. And they're listing this at 2017 edition. How in the hell do they know? Maybe you can go to their website and it'll tell you batch number 1 of Even More is this. But they did do this in 2016. So if it's batch number 1, is it a 2016 version? It's been sitting on the shelf for a year. Who knows? Who knows? And I'm not going to go to the website to try to figure this shit out. They have the means to do it, and they choose not to. So, I may choose not to give them a better grade. We shall see. Anyway, I'm sure this wasn't a cheap beer to buy at 12%, especially being an Evil Twin beer, because they price gouge everybody on everything they produce. Just my opinion. Alright, but they do the dark beers very well. So, let's see what this brings to the table. Let's pop the top. Enough talking, start pouring. Pitch black coming out of the can, guys. Food pairings: a cheese of buttery brie, good Havarti Swiss, goes well through chocolate dishes. Digestive. Meat is beef, smoked meat, game, and grilled meat. Glass for the pint, Beckernonic tumbler snifter, oversized wine glass. I got my favorite snifter today, guys. And according to these guys on Beer Advocate, it says you can sell it for a long time. It doesn't have coffee in it, so I don't know if they've used coconut and what else? Maple syrup. If any of that will fade over time. About a finger of head on that pour. It is pitch black, guys. It was pitch black coming out of the can, and it still is. Looks good. It looks very tasty. Let's get it to the nose. rich roasted malt, a little bit of molasses. Not getting a whole lot of chocolate or maple syrup on the nose. And if they put maple syrup in, the yeast is going to eat that up. So unless they're putting some kind of lactose in it, which is going to maintain some of the sweetness, the yeast is going to eat that up and make it a dry beer. But it's right out of the fridge. I just poured it, so some of those aromas and flavors will open up as it comes up to room temperature, and I always let that happen no matter what the beer is. Smells decent. Let's give it a whirl. What do you think? Yeah, let's do it. Final beer of the evening for me. Cheers, everybody. Cheers, Rico. Rich roasted malt, almost to the burnt characteristics. I am getting some bittersweet chocolate. I did have a tinge of some coconut there on the initial sip. I think that will open up a little bit more as it warms up. Maybe a hint, and it does have a little bit of a strong bitterness to it, but maybe a hint of some licorice or tobacco in there. I'm not sure about the dark fruit. We're going to let it warm up and see if I can find any kind of plums, dates, raisins, or figs. But I am getting a little bit of the coconut. Like I said, I got a feeling the maple syrup may lend to some of the sweetness in it, but the yeast can eat that fermentable sugar up, which leads to a little bit of a dryness on the back end, or bitterness. They may have used some black patent malt, which is a very bitter malt. So let me pour the back end of this can in there, and we're going to set that on the deck and fire up our cigar to go with this and let her taste it, and we'll come back and see where it ends up, guys. Alright guys, I'm back. Got just a little left here. Tasty beer. It is a tasty beer. I will give him that. Jeffy does a really good job on these dark Imperial Stouts. Some of the other stuff that he does, not so much. But the Imperial Stouts and the barrel-aged, bourbon barrel-aged versions, he does a very well job. My biggest fuss is they have a machine that's putting the batch number on and a timestamp with no date on it. Am I drinking a 2016 or a 2017 version? Unless I go to their website and see when batch number 1001 was done. You can't. And a lot of people now, everybody's got smartphones. Most everybody. Some still use the flip phones and they can't do that. You shouldn't have to do that. You should not have to do that. So, Rico, thanks again, my brother, for purchasing this. And I'm sure it was not cheap to buy, especially the ones I've seen sitting on a shelf around here at the craft beer stores. And you have to go there to get these beers. Kroger's, none of the grocery stores carry these beers. You have to go to a craft beer store to pick them up, and they are pricey. In all fairness, it takes a lot of malt. It takes a lot of brewing expertise to produce a 12% beer that's not super boozy, and this is not super boozy. It's well made. The alcohol is very well hidden. It's not boozy whatsoever. And I am getting the coconut, not so much of the maple. Very nice aroma, guys. It is very well made. I will not take that away from Jeppy and the guys at Evil Twin that brew these beers. Very nice. Final job. Very nice coconut. I am getting the coconut. It does have a nice sweetness to it. Maybe that's from the maple syrup, but you know, like I said, I do brew, and most of the times when you put a heavy sugar in, like maple syrup, the yeast eats that up. It is a fermentable sugar, so it's a tasty beer, guys. It is. It's a well-made beer. I'm gonna quit fussing. It's an A beer to me. I'm going to give it to A95, right down the middle of the A category. Over to Beer Advocate. Beer Advocate says 90. I'm 5 points better than that. I am giving the benefit of the doubt on this. I think it's a very tasty beer. He does a great job on these style of beers. He really does. Coconuts there, rich roasted malt, hints of bittersweet chocolate, black molasses. Not getting a lot of dark fruit or anything like that on it. But the coconut is there, and that's what they're advertising here. Even more coconut. Very nice, very well done. Let's run over for our final check-in to Untapped. And they got a list, and I looked up the 2017 edition. I'm not sure I did that correctly. I actually looked up 2016, if that was batch number 1. I don't know if 2017 is batch number 2. I don't know. Don't have that information, guys. So, and they have it at 4.12, which is their A- to A category. I'm giving it a benefit of the doubt there too. I think I'm giving it a better number than both of these the guys are doing. So I don't want you to feel like, even though that I have a problem with what Jeffy does, that he's not making a great beer, and he is. This is a tasty beer. If you like a nice Imperial Stout, this is a great beer. It is a very, very tasty beer. I enjoyed it. I don't buy his beers because me and him had a little fuss, a little thing going on there, but that's, I don't hold that against him when somebody sends me beers. I won't buy his beers, but if somebody like Rico spends their money on it and sends it to me, I will review it. He does a great job on his style of beers, no doubt. So, if you've had this from Evil Twin Brewing, there are even more Coco Jesus, whether it's batch 1, batch 2, or whatever you're getting, these beers will sell it very well. There's no reason why you could not sell this beer for 2, 3, 5, maybe even 10 years. So, I don't know what year this is. It's batch number 1. Whatever. If that's the 2016, so be it. If it's the 2017, so be it. But I think they did it last year too, so not real sure there, guys. So, if you've had this from Evil Twin Brewing, there are even more Coco Jesus. Let me know what you think. Until we meet again, let's go see what's in the fridge.